Welcome back to the Pilots Club number 25. This is a podcast all about the pilot episodes of television shows and the many reasons why they may or may not be worth a watch. This is a Patreon first podcast, so we release these to our Patreon supporters over at patreon.com/the Whatnauts first and foremost. And they remain there for 2 years before hitting free feeds. So if you want to go catch up on 2 years worth of this podcast, if you're listening on free feeds, you can go do that. Patreon.com/the Whatnauts. My name is Kyle Springer. I am joined by Melissa Wilkinson. Melissa, what's your favorite Jack Black movie?
Oh, dang. School of Rock is very iconic.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was going to say for members of our generation, but like his whole career is iconic for our generation. I imagine you're going to say Nacho Libre.
For me, I think, it's a tie between Nacho and School of Rock. Those two absolute classics in my book.
First week of COVID lockdown, I had a roommate who'd only been living with me for a couple months, and she was like working 2 jobs. Her dad had a heart attack. She had all sorts of things that kept her really busy. So then lockdown hit. We're in the apartment together the entire time. And I'm like, let's get to know each other a little better. I feel like I'm the one always putting in something on TV. I'm like, what is your favorite movie? I don't know that about you yet. Mm-hmm. And without thinking for a second, she said Tenacious D and the Pick of Destiny. So that's what we watched.
Nice.
Tenacious D was there to give me some comfort in early COVID.
There you go. Good stuff. Well, speaking of Jack Black, the pilot episode that we are here to talk about today is Heat Vision and Jack. Mm-hmm. This is a 1999 comedy directed by Ben Stiller, created by Rob Schrab and Dan Harmon, and of course, starring Jack Black and the voice of Owen Wilson. Mm-hmm. So this pilot is available on YouTube. It's pretty easy to find. You can go look it up and watch it on your own time. Just half an hour.
I noticed it was uploaded 17 years ago. So this video has been on YouTube for about as long as YouTube has existed.
For quite a while. Yeah, this is an interesting one. It's one that I found just kind of looking around at different websites for like, what are the weird pilots that are out there? The ones that didn't make it to shows or that people forgot about, or like who even thought this was a good idea kind of.
You're looking for Puchinsky grade material.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And this is one that came up and the little thing was like, you won't believe what you're watching, but you'll have a blast. Like you'll have a great time. And I think that is spot on. I just did this whole thing was just baffling, but I loved it. I enjoyed it. I had a great time with this. What did you think of Heat Vision and Jack?
It is a wonderful homage to the Incredible Hulk and that era of man with strange ability must journey across America, constantly escaping from a foe. That format of old episodic TV, which I feel like we don't really have anymore. We have Poker Face and that's about it.
Yeah.
It is so wonderfully bizarre.
It really is. I got to watch this with my partner who just like immediately like 2 minutes in from when the pilot actually starts, it kind of has this this strange introduction from Ben Stiller, which
did you want a normal introduction from Ben Stiller?
I didn't need one. Just no introduction period. But just like 2 minutes in on the actual pilot, she goes, "Oh my God, please tell me there's more of this. I will watch as much of this as there is." And I'm like, I'm so sorry. This was it. This is 30 minutes of it.
from what little I know about her entertainment taste, this is absolutely up her alley.
Spot on. Yeah. About a man who goes into space, he gets high, and then becomes super smart when he gets hit by the sun's rays, when he gets baked.
Right.
And,
the sun bakes his brain like cookie dough, and his brain expands. And he becomes 3 times as smart as the smartest man on Earth. But then, the end of the episode, you see there's a reversal. When the sun goes down, he's back to just normal guy dumbness.
Yeah, normal Jack.
Mm-hmm.
The pilot does start with this strange introduction from Ben Stiller that I have to say, I feel like off-putting is too harsh of a word. It like this feels like Ben Stiller, like Zoolander era comedy, like him doing this. So yeah, it's enjoyable, it's fine, but also I don't feel like I need that. But also,
I love an intro.
But it also has this like crypt keeper.
See you there.
Like this like crypt keeper tales from the crypt, like
that's my
intro,
guy, you know,
which I don't hate. Like I actually think that's kind of a good, like if Ben Stiller was the like intro, like the host to a show that is this like anthology style, like let's do these like weird mid to late 90s style pilots of stuff, and it's just these like strange knockoffs of Incredible Hulk or stuff like that. I think that'd be really cool. Like I think that'd be awesome. If he
presented it like Night Gallery and it was a different one every time.
Yeah, I think that'd be kind of neat.
I imagine that his
but I don't know.
I imagine his introduction is exclusively for this pilot. Maybe I don't know the history of this pilot. I don't know if it ever was aired as like a one-off on TV or if it was just for the networks. I can imagine this being part of the package for the networks. For you guys, please see the silly introduction from director Ben Stiller. Which I do love these. I love when somebody is in an ostentatious office for no clear reason. It's clearly not theirs. It's not personalized at all. It's just a set. I love the camera angles. I love him announcing the camera angles. I love when he's like, now let me entertain you. And he opens his palm and then a light comes out of his palm and that becomes the episode. It works on me.
Yeah. It's an interesting one for sure. I don't think it ever aired anywhere. Fox was the channel that ordered it, but ultimately did not order it to series. And then, according to Rob Schrab, one of the creators, in 2007, there was a Heat, Vision, and Jack feature film in the works, which apparently never came to fruition because that was the last thing. Yeah.
Do it now. What's stopping you?
Exactly. Right. But yeah, so the actual. I kind of mentioned the synopsis that, Jack is this NASA astronaut who goes into space and then gets hit with this like weird radiation that turns him extra smart when the sun is out, when he gets baked by the sun. And at night, he obviously gets dumber. But as NASA is, I guess, like trying to contain him, is that the right word, to like stop him from going out and living his life, to like, we need to study you for science, right? And he's like, no, don't. They send an agent after him to bring him back, and in the process, his old college roommate Owen Wilson, who's apparently a bad boy in this, is hit with a ray. That's it. That's all we know, is hit with a ray.
I love a ray.
Yeah, and gets fused into his motorcycle, and they become one. So he is this talking motorcycle here, and on their first adventure, there is this like alien signal that takes over this fry cook.
Vincent Schiavelli, the late
Yeah.
great Vincent Schiavelli. I don't know if you've started watching Moonlighting yet, but he shows up like 6 episodes into Moonlighting.
Interesting. I've seen the first 2, so I'm not there yet. But
okay.
Yeah, and this guy then wants to like continue taking people over, is like hell-bent on like world domination or something like that. And Jack, Heat, Vision, and Jack has to stop them. And that's it. That is the plot of this pilot. So it is ridiculous.
Vincent Schiavelli is taken over by an alien force called the Paragon, I think.
Yes.
And he's going around dehydrating people and leaving them just as piles of dust.
Yeah. Yeah. And then review show alum, one of our other podcasts, what's her name?
Christine
Taylor. Yeah, is the sheriff of the show. And she's just kind of trying to figure out what's happening. Who is what happened with this murder? Who is this strange Heat, Vision, and Jack duo that stumbled into my town? And she kind of falls for Jack by the end of this episode, which half of the episode also takes place in a strip club.
I gotta talk about this. So for a show that looks so chintzy on purpose, pretty much like it's supposed to have this thrown together, real cheap look to it, much like another Jack Black project, Be Kind, Rewind. But when they go to the pleasure chest, there's this dancer on stage in the background who is legitimately a fantastic dancer.
Just
like that is the one thing
yeah.
they did not phone in. She's incredible. They got a real professional for that one. And I like when Vincent Schiavelli gets the lap dance from the other girl and he vaporizes her, and some guy playing pool is like, "You vaporized Jasmine!"
Yeah.
like knows the verb to use, immediately recognizes that's a vaporization. And he did that to our sweet Jasmine.
Right. He just witnessed a vaporization.
You know it when you see it.
There's so many quotable moments in this, or just funny scenarios. I like when they're at the gas station and Heat Vision is gassing up and is just making all the sex noises.
You're right.
Right. And then when Paragon is trying to vaporize this motorcycle and can't do it because he doesn't have eyes, it just kind of ends up knocking him over instead, and that is like the worst thing that could ever happen to Heat. And when Jack is there, like, we need to go. We need to find where Paragon is. He's just like, oh well. Thanks for checking up on me. I'm fine. By the way, and he's just like, yeah, he just knocked you over. Like, let's go. And he's like, well. Yeah, it hurt. He's like butthurt that like you don't care about me.
Knocked over.
Yeah, I was knocked over. Don't you care about my feelings? It's so ridiculous.
I like that Owen Wilson is narrating a lot of this with these really corny platitudes, like crazy things happen to you when you're alone out on the road. If you become a motorcycle, you're a motorcycle.
Yep. Some say that like such and so, but I say this instead, right? And
yes.
Like, what does that have to do with anything here?
Right. My favorite part is at the very end when they are literally riding off into the sunset. Or I guess the sun has set, so it's riding off into dusk, the twilight hour.
Chasing sunlight, yeah.
Yes. Yeah, says another one of those platitudes, and then he says, "Good night." Just to the audience.
A matter of fact, good night.
I wish more fictional characters did that. I'm not talking about like the Late Show with Stephen Colbert saying good night to me.
He had, like, it doesn't feel non sequitur. It's not so off-putting that it's like, what are you talking about? But it's also just like offbeat. It's like
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't fit in the best way. Like, that is the thing. Like, I loved what this pilot was. I had a blast. I thought this
Yes.
was hilarious. But I also kind of look at it and go, well, what did you expect? Like, did you expect, like, did you actually expect this to get picked up? I don't think so. Like, I don't know. I'm not a TV exec, so there's all
Mm-hmm.
kinds of shows that get picked up, and it's just like, wow,
This
okay.
was produced in 1999, and I was looking at this thinking, this is before Adult Swim.
Mm.
Would it live on Comedy Central? Like, it's too silly for Sci-Fi Channel. When you said Fox, I'm like, I guess that was definitely the weirdest of the major networks.
Yeah.
I could see this slotting in next to a Simpson and a Family Guy and a Malcolm in the Middle.
Was Family Guy around in 1999?
Yes.
Wow.
It originally started in 1999. They had a Y2K episode. They only lasted like a season or two. Then they were canceled.
I remember
then
that.
They were brought back again. I think that show was canceled like twice. And when it started, I believe was in 1999.
That's wild. I kind of remember watching that first season. I mean, like, yeah, that show's okay. And then it got canceled, and it's like, yeah, I kind of understand why. And then somehow the Emperor returned, right? It just hasn't gone away.
Yes,
to make a Star Wars reference there, which is interesting considering Ben Stiller was taking shots at George Lucas there at the start.
I must tell you, Family Guy premiered on January 31st, 1999, following Super Bowl. I think those Roman numerals are 33. So Family Guy is 25 years old.
Wow.
This week. Wow. And it is 25 years old in a way where it has aired in 4 different decades.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Which really breaks my brain about it. The 90s, the 2000s, the 2010s, the 2020s. Family Guy, ever present.
What kind of world do we live in? Who knows? That is wild to think about here. I guess that, but that also kind of adds to the, like, I don't know. Did you really expect this to get picked up when some, like, well, I mean, it's hindsight is 2020, right? Family Guy has been such a juggernaut, as you just kind of pointed out. But like, if that was your competition, right? Wow, that, like, this does not look like that. Like, for a show in 1999, I don't feel like this looks like a show from 1999. This looks like it's early 90s.
Yes, yeah. And maybe it was, or maybe that's... the lower budget made it look slightly older. It does have a vibe of a 1995.
Yeah. And I mean, that's also the thing with pilots too, right? Is they don't always have the full budget and backing behind it to really make it look nice or look polished or something like that. And so, yeah, if this was simply a proof of concept, which it absolutely could have been, I think it's fantastic. I liked it. I liked it a lot. It just looks bad.
I'd watch more.
But yeah, I'd absolutely continue.
But like, purposefully, lovingly. It's not supposed to look better.
Well, I mean, I think that's kind of what I'm implying, is that maybe it is, and that it's just the pilot. That, like, hey, this is kind of what we're going for. Obviously, if this got a full season, we'd have some more money. We can make it look nicer. We'd get better effects and stuff like that. Which also makes me kind of think that Ben Stiller's intro was recorded post-mortem, so to speak, as a like, hey, we know that this looks bad, and that's why he's kind of ragging on George Lucas there. Like, it has better than, like, it has effects that are better than some Star Wars movies out there, George Lucas, right? Like, it could be that he's poking fun at his own thing of like, look, I know that this looks bad, right? Yeah. So
Ben Stiller, also famously a Star Trek guy.
Oh, interesting.
Maybe some Trek v. Wars animosity, playful animosity. Oh, yeah. Yeah, his production company's named after a very niche Star Trek reference.
Okay. There you go. Interesting indeed. I don't know if I have any other like thoughts or questions on Heat Vision and Jack. Did like we kind of did favorite moments of this already? Do you have any other kind of final comments, bits that you liked or enjoyed?
This seemed rich. Yeah, with this way the show was structured, it could have gone to a lot of different places. I wish it would have.
Absolutely. I think the only other bit that I want to shout out is when they are finally leaving the strip club and two of these strippers are heading there with the motorcycle, just chatting it up, having a great time. Heat Vision is loving it, and yeah, both Jack and I don't remember the sheriff's name.
I think they just call her Sheriff.
Sheriff, yeah. Just kind of look at him like, wow, okay, Heat Vision. Like, didn't know you had it in
ladies.
You. Yeah, there you go. I just thought that was another good like back go around. Just like, oh, yeah, it's funny. It's dumb. I love it.
I like when they hide out at like the sheriff's grandma's house and Heat Vision's playing with all these like neighborhood kids or cousins or whatever. Yeah. And he's like, do you guys have some matches? We're going to light some leaves on fire.
Yes, absolutely.
Everyone loves and accepts Heat Vision. Nobody questions the existence of Heat Vision.
Right. Yeah. That was also like a strange thing of just like, there is no, wait, your motorcycle can talk? It's just like, no, they treat him like a person and it's not mentioned.
Do you remember that anime we watched about a talking motorcycle? Not about Kino's a talking journey. Motorcycle. It was mostly a very normal travelogue anime, except like once an episode, the motorcycle would say one thing and then be quiet again. Yeah. And not even anything funny. It wasn't a joke. It's some weird magic realism bit that the motorcycle would talk.
Yeah, absolutely. Like it's like from what I remember, it's kind of one of those things of like, do other people know that the motorcycle can talk?
I can't tell.
Is this like an existential thing? Like, is the character just talking to themselves, imagining that who knows? But yeah, in this, it's just, yep, that's a talking motorcycle. Yep, that was a vaporization. And yep, that was a damn good pilot.
My final comment is that I think we should rename our food episode of the Captain's Log to Eat Vision and Snack.
Eat Vision and Snack. That's actually pretty great. I like that.
It's way more specific than just the taste test episode or
the
fairly
snack
generic
attack.
Snack attack. Right.
All right, good stuff. Well, Melissa, you have our next pilots picked out for us to watch. What do you got for me?
I thought we would follow this show about Jack Black being a genius, 3 times as smart as the smartest man, with a show about some guys who are not geniuses, but have an obsessive amount of knowledge about very niche things. I thought it'd be fun to follow this with the trivia challenge present in the pilot episode of Welcome to Eltingville. Welcome to Eltingville is I'm going to send you the link.
Okay.
It is a half-hour animated pilot that aired once on Adult Swim, was not picked up to full series, and it is based on the Eltingville comics by Eisner Award winner Evan Dorkin.
Okay.
So this is a show
Interesting.
about 4 teenage boys who hang out at a comic book shop and get into nerdy little arguments with each other.
Huh.
This
Never
aired
even heard of this.
on Adult Swim. I watched it. I recorded it on tape. I watched it a lot, like more than I think I actually remember that I did. Because I sent you a YouTube link. Thankfully, there's a very clean DVD transfer you can watch on YouTube. And I started watching it, and I'm like, I know this too well. I'm like, my muscle memory is anticipating specific line readings here. This thing must have worked itself deeper into my brain than I thought.
This feels like something that should have been on my radar, considering it's like surrounding a comic book store, and I'm a big comic book nerd. Interesting. Okay. Cool. Well, I'm excited to check it out. But yeah, I think that wraps us up for this episode of the Pilots Club. So if you are a Patreon supporter of ours, thank you so much for checking this out. Thank you for supporting us. It means a ton. If you are checking this out on free feeds, thank you as well. We appreciate it. But once again, patreon.com/the Whatnauts is where you can support us if you are interested in catching up on the show, so to speak. Melissa, where can the people find you on the interwebs?
I've got a quiet little Letterboxd account at Wilkywit, WILKYWIT.
Good stuff. If you guys want to find me, I am at Yo Kyle Springer. And if you guys would like to stay up to date with all of the stuff that we do here at the Whatnauts, we are at the Whatnauts official on Threads. So please go like, share, and subscribe. That would help us out a ton. And yeah, this has been number 25 of the Pilots Club. We will see you all next time. Good night.
Bye.